I'm muted. All right. Hello, everyone. We're finally back. This is Stop Losing, Start Trading, the options trading show that me and Rosalie are doing here from the Panoptic team. Uh, yeah, we had to skip on Friday, skip Monday now. So much has happened over the past few days. But yeah, first of all, how was your Easter? How are you doing today, Rosalie?
Good. Yeah, my Easter was fun. It was great. There's lots of sunshine and food, and I had a good time.
Finally, spring. I know. I mean, yeah, you're in New York. I'm in Boston, but yeah, definitely on the warmer side, which is great. But yeah, I traveled to Canada as well, so I drove a little bit. This was fine. The kids managed too, which is it's, they're getting bigger, so they figure out what's happening as opposed to kind of you put them in a car and then 7 hours later they say, "Okay, where are we now?" Uh,
Fun.
but yeah, so this is a interesting day. Yesterday, something happened to the market, I believe. But yeah, we're definitely on the upside. We have a few trades to cover for the intern. So we discuss trades here. The intern may choose to follow them or not, but the key point is that we're just discussing how we see the market, how we think options can be part of anyone's portfolio. And in that case, what we discuss is not financial advice. Sometimes the intern listens to us, and then we try to follow Rosalie's kind of gut feeling. And then this translates to a pretty good track record for the intern, which is, I have to admit, kind of stacking these wins makes it a lot more fun, especially when we have, sorry, the market moving. First, yeah, ETH, Bitcoin, most cryptocurrencies are up. Oh no, not the all-time high. Weekly, there we go. This is the price of ETH over the past week. The 1500 range was definitely tested. Now it's back to 1800 or 1750. It's good to be back, maybe a little bit. Who knows? Trades or tariffs or something else might have been causing this, but yeah. How how is your feeling now with ETH?
Yeah.
1800 was still low a few weeks ago, but now it seems that we're so ecstatic about this.
Yeah, I do think we're still probably a little bit more in a lower range, but yeah, getting some upside there feels great. I was able to sell some of my fart coin yesterday, so I was really happy. I
For a fat juicy profit,
For a
hopefully.
little bit of a profit, but I always forget to check my meme coin wallets, and then everything goes down. So
Fart coin. Maybe that's one that we can look how it's performing. So this is on Solana, right?
Mhm.
So we can't quite trade it on Panoptic, but I'm sure
Not
there's
yet.
AMMs maybe one day. Oh, I mean, on the web. So what made you sell then? It seems to be going back to its heyday of being $1.50 per fart.
I just looked and it was up. And so I was like, okay, I made a little bit of money. I don't want to wait again for it to go down again and not be able to sell. So
That no one went broke making money, so that's perfect. One way to see it. So yeah, mostly we see the prices of most cryptocurrencies going up. One thing that we also look every once in a while is the volatility index. This is from Volmex. We again sometimes price tells one story, the volatility tells another story. This is also kind of a weird way to look at the market sometimes because it's hard to predict, even if the price goes up and down, what the volatility is doing. So this is the past few months. These are the tariff spikes. This happened earlier this month, so that's kind of what we see in terms of volatility. Price went down, but yeah, over the past few days or past day, both prices went up and also volatility went up a little bit.
interesting. Yeah.
So it's everyone, the best way to think about volatility. It's not that the price is moving up or down, but it's just there's less liquidity, less people actively trading. So that might be catching people by surprise. Someone is either purchasing a bunch of crypto and then the whole market moves, or some other kind of events happen. So sometimes when you see price going down, people are fearful. So you see these spikes. Now, if it's going up, me just take people off guard. People might have been short. They may not want to trade or buy. So that means every trader that trades pushes the price a bit more than if it's a very, very boring market. So yeah, back to 75% IV. This is very, very kind of high, very juicy. If we were to look at the equities market, but for crypto, this is actually ballpark where we've been. Let me just we have a similar figure on, yeah, the Panoptic interface. We're at 87%. So the IV on Panoptic, the IV on Uniswap, the IV on chain is higher than the aggregate that you may get on Airbit, CME, SIBO, and whatnot. So this might be a good for also trading. Um, yeah, interesting. So this is the liquidity in Uniswap we built on top. There's always this huge whale that puts millions of dollars, but there is definitely some other structure here which are interesting. Some of it, out of range, of course, but this is fine. This is also the Panoptic liquidity. So people have been indeed trading this. The internet has been trading as well. But yeah, any comment for now until we delve a little bit deeper on the Panoptic interns portfolio.
No, I'm happy to, although it's out of range, I'm happy to see there's a lot of really bullish liquidity over there. I'm not sure what it's doing over there, but I'm glad people are feeling positive.
Yep. So this is sorry about that. This is the leaderboard. Panoptic intern is climbing the ranks. So this is combining both the on-chain, the mainnet liquidity, and the unichain liquidity. Intern is now 39th, collecting pips. One thing that is interesting with Panoptic is that we make it very easy to spy on people. This is the Panoptic intern's P&L, and then it tells kind of a interesting story. But uh, we have, again, we may have to make it a bit simpler, but this is the value of the whole portfolio, including deposits over time. And naturally, we have an increase in price. So there is indeed an increase of about, I don't know, $250 of value. At the same time, the open positions, not just the deposits, but also all the positions are down a little bit. We'll dig a bit deeper. So even though this is including that loss, so even though it seems to be losing here because we have a bunch of ETH and BTC and even ticker Bitcoin deposits, prices going up, so you make more money. But yeah, so the market that we left off was a bit different. From what I see here, we at least my personally tweeted, and some created added a asked a question on Twitter. I said this is how you should do it on Panoptic, in terms of the Bitcoin price. Intern listen to us. Maybe we'll visit that. But yeah, given that we are in 5 markets, this is maybe also something that might be different than if you are just a perp trader. You have to diversify your investments, get exposure to many different assets. A lot of these are ETH paired, so there is some risk because you're exposed to the broader crypto markets. But if you're on the Eigen or the ticker Bitcoin or even the BTC ETH pair, it offsets some of the risks of either ETH going down or some of the token going up, and you're short. Uh, but yeah, so maybe on this view, we have all 5 markets. Which one do you want to look at first, Rosalie?
Yeah, I think I'm really curious to see that trade you were just talking about on BTC USDC.
Okay, yeah, and then maybe I'll try to bring the tweet that I created in response to Ansem. So this is one of those uh, the oh yeah, let me share this. Can you see my Twitter? Okay, yeah. So Ansem, he's most on Solana, I guess, but definitely pushing a bunch of meme coins. I don't know if you know or follow Ansem or not, Rosalie, yourself.
Mm-mm.
I think he found like Whiff and could be like discovered a bunch of meme coins and made what think is people think is a fortune, but definitely be on the right call of a lot of those. How do I bet weekly? Not on weekly, not closing above 95K or below 75K for 2 months. What's the options bros saying? So this is Hayden Adams, but the key point is that on Bitcoin, how do you make sure you profit when it's range bound between 75K and 95K? This is basically what option sellers are doing. I did respond here, but uh, I went over the whole thing. Oops, sometimes mute him. I said the best way to do this is to create a straddle. I even put the link here. You sell a straddle, you choose your bounds that is between 25K and 95K. You choose your size, and then you go from there, hoping that you make money after it's done. Or if you think Ansem is wrong and is wisdom, you can take the opposite trade and buy a straddle instead. Intern, I said choose, but then do something. So intern did trade, And then we'll see here. This is the market that he was in. We can see from that losing a little bit, which is fine. Price moved, and it might be pushing the $95,000. But yeah, what did he do, Rosalie? What do you see here?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, definitely did the position that Ansem, not the opposite one. So this is a straddle here. Yeah, it looks like it went a little bit up in range, but not too much. It could still be going down, and there's fees that are being collected over time that might offset this a little bit since it's all still in range.
Yeah, so this is a weekly option, and it's been open for almost 6 days now. And again, would you say that this is a trade we should maybe think of managing or leaving it be? Or yeah, how do you feel about being 5 days into that trade?
I Yeah, I know you would probably suggest to manage it and kind of take the lowest amount of losses, but I feel like maybe it could bounce back to the range of profit and it would make more sense to close it then. But I don't know. I tend to hold on to things a little too long
Exactly. I mean, it
sometimes.
could be Fartcoin, could be a Bitcoin straddle. Yeah. Again, this is always hard to know when to manage. The price did go up, which is very sudden, and I mean, to some extent, it was range bound for the past 3 weeks. It did move. Maybe it's going to go up or down. I would say that I agree with you. I would wait a little bit for it to play out a bit more. Even though it's a weekly, sometimes the you can hold it for a little bit longer if it's in range. If it does leave the range, then you do have to kind of reconsider your assumptions. There's a few things working for that position. One is that this is earning these positions have been purchased on the other side, so this is earning 4% more than Uniswap fees. So the fees collected are indeed kind of helping that position become profitable. And we were dead in the middle. It did move. It's still in range, so I would not be worried. You're earning fees, and then again, if there's a reversal, we can make some of that money back. So yeah, I'll also agree with you. It's not a matter of kind of holding on. We could still be wrong, but then make money in a way. If it's range bound now around 90K, then if it stays there longer, then we can make money. So yes,
I would also assume that with sudden upwards movement, people are likely to sell again, and so I have a feeling that I don't think Bitcoin's going to keep going up and up and up like it did before.
back to
Real,
100K
yeah.
already. Been.
So, but who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that the personally, I'm always wrong, so I'm always on the neutral side. That's why I jumped on that opportunity. That would be a trade that again maybe I should have done as well. But now we know it's hard to manage. But yeah, I would say it is what it is. Even the best traders in the world are wrong. The key point is that you guys manage risk appropriately. And for intern, actually, let me see. You have to size properly as well. This position is only 10% of the buying power, and that means that it's not necessarily gonna wipe you out or get you liquidated. We did push the risk analysis tab now, so it's all live on mainnet. But this is the P&L of that position. We do have actually, yeah, we do have BTC deposits, so it does make money even though that position loses. But the key point is that your liquidation is actually not a worry at all because we sized it properly. I'm not even sure it's going to liquidate, but the liquidation price is below 40K and above 200K. So
That's
liquidation is not
good.
a problem because we sized properly. Turns out that the P&L overall, taking into account the BTC deposits, is positive. And if it does go to 160K, we make money. So yeah, the one trade going against the assumption is balanced by having some BTC in there. If it were truly delta neutral, maybe intern should have sold a call or shorted some of it. But yeah, for now, they are kind of benefiting from the price going up and getting fees and not getting liquidated. They just have to believe. All right. So this is BTC. This is interesting. So maybe we'll visit this, even though it's a weekly. Maybe we can hold this for a bit longer. But yeah, this is good. Anyone that stands out, I guess, on that list. Again, it might be look dense for those that aren't trading actively, like intern and Worsley. But yeah, which other one seems to be a bit more worrisome here?
Probably USDC ETH.
Yes, this one has $275 of losses. Uh, it's still kind of the buying power realization is 36%, or margin realization. If you're at 100, you're liquidated. And if you're wrong directionally, the utilization goes up. So it's 36, which is still reasonable, but might have gone up since we set it up. But yes, three positions. One of them is definitely on the losing side. Let's have a look at this one. This one was open 11 days ago. Yeah. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, it looks, yeah, like since we have undefined risk there too, I think it would make sense to close it.
Yeah, and I think I remember what we discussed when we set it up, but this was open 11 or 12 days ago. This is definitely a bearish trade. Price went up. You are short the asset. It's almost leaving the range as well. If it reaches 1800, you are out of range. So we're still earning fees, which is good. And the IV increase we saw in Volmex also translates in a steeper slope here, which is also good. But yes, definitely not working for us. We have three trades here. One thing that we discuss as well is that we're buying an option. So again, the key about options trading is that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, not in the same market, but also not in the same strategy. You may have shorter term, longer term. You have to balance all of these kind of different assumptions. The last trade we done was buying a call option. So this was a is it weekly? It's a monthly call option. And I think what we discussed that you were bullish short term and maybe be a bit neutral long term. So this one is definitely making money and maybe offsetting some of those losses. So we were able to kind of hedge both sides. Here we're paying fees. This is buying an option. So we're paying more every time that this is in range. But the P&L is pretty good. So it does balance out. And even though we have one trade that is seemingly losing, we have another trade which is buying an option, which is now winning. And these two kind of offset one another. So the key point is that, yes, looking at each position gives a story, but it's often incomplete. What you want to do is clicking on the actual name here and go to the markets page. This one will show you uh, the P&L, oops, for that whole position. But then we can have now include deposits. And yeah, so this is a slightly different P&L if you look at this. So are you a bit less worried, or what do you think we should do in terms of management here?
Yeah, I definitely am less worried. I would suggest in turn to close the two bearish positions regardless. But this makes me maybe wonder if it's not really necessary. But I mean, you have to can't keep losing money forever, right? So.
Exactly. So the goal of that is to hedge. Maybe we decrease the losses, but not completely. But yes, overall we hold some ETH, we hold some long options. But yes, if this keeps going, we can be losing quite a bit more. We had one which was a naked call, unlimited risk. Let's visit this other one, which was a call spread, and this was also bearish. Uh, we also thought we were fancy by buying someone else's liquidity out of range, but now it's in range. And this is also working against us. Uh, okay, it's not too bad. So that one also is definitely contributing to the losses if prices were to keep going up. And yeah, so I would say might be a time for revisiting these bearish assumptions that we had, and then entering me close those. And yeah, so one thing that is um, important is that the premium we're earning here is still positive. And if we look at the historical premium, we earned some. Now it's going down a little bit. So if we were to keep going down, the net spread is negative, meaning that we're now paying now options. We're paying because we're buying an option. So that is another one that is, yes, in range, but then that other option also pays 11% more. So I would say, same as you, I would close this one, lick my wounds. Yes, we were bearish. Price went up. What can we do besides moving on and creating a new position? So yeah, I would say this is another one. The call one, would you still keep it on, or you would start clean, eat the profit on one side, uh, realize loss on the other side, or you still want to keep that one bullish one here?
I would start clean. I would close that one as well.
Okay.
Maybe close it a little later, but yeah, for sure, because we're paying
Yeah, we're
for that.
paying 10% more than Uniswap's fee, so it's still kind of reasonable. But there might be other people buying, watching the show. They see in turn doing so well, they want to copy trade them. So here, yes, I would say that we may not want to keep this for a long time, but yes, I would definitely be on the side of closing these that haven't worked for us. Remember, we have some E that still it's in positive P&L territory, but it's just kind of could get worse if we don't manage those. So yeah, this was fun. So definitely reacting. This is fun when it's trading actively. One thing that maybe I want to show is that the um, yeah, the fact that it's volatile means you earn more on the sell side. So it's never a life or death situation. There's always some way to manage this, making sure that you get compensated when it's high IV. So it's not too bad, but it's just if it does move quite a bit, then you have to manage. So it's always a delicate dance. We haven't looked at this in again a week. Last time we met was last Wednesday. Even though we seem to be losing, price did move quite a bit. We were positioning ourselves where it wasn't anything we had to worry about. So uh,
Yeah, looking at the deposits and the overall portfolio for each market always makes it feel a little better. So,
yeah, yes, exactly. So maybe we'll do. Uh, so the other ones aren't really moving much. Do you want to look at ticker? We'll do one more: ticker Bitcoin, Eigen, or the BTC ETH pair to ratio.
oh, yeah, I think the BTC ETH ratio.
Yeah. Okay. So this is. I don't know what the ratio did actually. Let's see. So we had a straddle delta neutral open 11 days ago, making some money, $3. I wouldn't be worried about that. Okay. So the ratio I think stayed pretty constant. Okay. This is not often what we see. Typically, Bitcoin rips, ETH, and all the altcoins are left behind. Now, kind of, it seems that ETH at least has held on, so that even though we opened this one 12 days ago, the ratio did go up a little bit, but it's kind of minimal. So the assumption that it was going to be stable, despite the big moves we've seen over the past whatever 18 hours, is still good because they both move together. So it's another one of those kind of trading ratio. You now look, is either going to overperform or underperform or move along. Bitcoin seems to have moved along Bitcoin, so this is great.
Interesting. Yeah, I would still, yeah, since we're getting kind of close there, I think, yeah, someone bought our option, so that's nice. But make sure to watch this since we don't want to go out of range.
Yeah, someone is bearish. So we have a put and a call. What we see, at least in the ETH USDC, a lot of people are buying calls, a bit more call skew, a bit more bullish. Here, someone bought the put option, so they are bearish the ratio, which is fine. So that's why this put side is earning 30% more than Uniswap, whereas the call side hasn't been touched, so it's still earning the same. But yeah, I mean, again, this is one of those where I'm also not worried. Uh, Price moving up or down, we're earning fees, we're in range. This is maybe the last increase in volatility we've seen over the past few days. It's all good. Nothing more to worry about. So yeah, so this is again, we'll try to keep it short for today, even though we did miss out on a week worth of management. Intern was able to open a position, not panic, and keep these open. But then it's actually beneficial despite the moves being short in some markets. So yeah, so maybe five markets that may seem overwhelming for some users. So in your case, Rosalie, or maybe do you think intern is okay managing five markets, or adding sixth or seventh or eighth one, would that be too much? Like how comfortable are you with tracking five different underlyings?
I
Uh,
think, yeah, I think five is good. I think the Eigen and one is feels more like not much is happening there, so I feel comfortable kind of just managing that a couple times a week and not worrying about it too much. Same with ticker Bitcoin because it hasn't done a lot recently, although clearly this here it did, but I think, oh, out of range. Yeah, so we'll have to
Ooh.
close this
Yeah.
position. But
All right. Exactly. Yeah. So the yeah we did skip it, but this one is Overperforming. Oh my God, ticker
Good.
Bitcoin
Yay. So my
ripping.
wallet looks happy. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think we do have some deposit. Actually, let's also do the cheat code. Let's see how the net P&L looks like. I think this is not something that I was personally also as looking into it. So yeah, even though it seems like it's going up, we're short, but we have some deposits. So yeah, and so also same thing. When you look at the portfolio, five underlyings, it may seem overwhelming. Oh my god, options! You have three positions per markets, five underlyings. Oh my god, but it's a bit easier to kind of not put all your like the your efforts into a single trade. It helps to spread out, makes you a bit more mellow. And again, five, it is also where I would say it hits the ceiling as to how you need to manage. Even I mean, some of these aren't as liquid, but if you're a Uniswap LP, you may think of one, two markets, three markets. If you're a panoptic trader, it's actually easier to enter new markets and have again a more portfolio wide type of position because we're in the BTC, ETH, Bitcoin, again, BC, the ratio as well, they all are correlated. So you don't just look at directional trades or kind of making money, but rather being on the sell side, receiving some premium, getting compensated for the risk you take on. So if you see an opportunity or some inefficiencies, you can still jump in. So yeah, so this is actually pretty good. Again, Rosalie and intern have been doing fantastically. Hopefully, those in the audience also are learning a lot. If you have any questions, don't feel free to go on Discord or even DM me on Twitter. Always happy to help folks. But yeah, the story that we see is that thanks to interns' exposure to coins and deposits, they've made some money. Even though some trades went against them, it's not the end of the world. We've made again up to now we probably did 15 or 20 trades, still 80% success rate, which is great. So yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully intern will close some positions and we can start again on Friday.
amazing. Yeah, thanks a lot, Rosalie. So let's go to the second half of the show, which is options hour. I think Brennan's here. Hey, how are you, Brennan?
Hello, happy Wednesday. Great to be here.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Rosalie.
Awesome.
Happy
Bye.
trading. Hey, what's up?
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a week, so we have a lot to review, but I think you covered some of it here. Very cool about the whole and some Hayden Adams LP
Yeah, my,
option.
my tweet was like, I've been saying this for years now, like 2021. Hey, you guys, LPing is like options. Selling options. Wait, no one understands selling options, so you're telling me that LPs are doing this. So it's been a struggle, but yeah, when someone asks a question about what do options traders do, and then the founder of Uniswap says, use Uniswap on the option side, it feels good. But yeah,
Yes, that's confirming.
some
Well,
validation. I'm not sure if we're on
finally,
Aiden's radar, but yeah, no, definitely some good content there that he produced.
definitely on Hayden's radar. Good to have him on our side on this. So
Of course, there's only one way. I mean, if you want to be an LP, you have to do it on Panoptic. There's no other way.
that's right. So yeah, let's jump into the markets. I think you covered a little bit. But basically, things have been a little bit crazy this week. I think we started out the week, as far as the equities go, not very well. And but crypto, as you know, has we are back, so that's great. So yeah, we're just looking at, as of the beginning of this week, both stocks and bonds, and also the dollar were all down in price. And so people are calling this the sell America trade. It's very bad. Typically, when investors are afraid, they'll leave the stock market, so the stock price go down, but then they'll typically park it in the bonds because it's seen as safer. These lower risk assets, the risk free yield. But there's a lot of uncertainty about the whole U.S. bond market, so people aren't even parking them in the bonds. So we see both stocks and bond prices drop. So then bond yields go up. So this is the sell America. It's where is this going? And this is why we've seen gold go up so much, because people are buying up gold. A lot of foreign treasuries, nations are purchasing gold and moving their assets there. Even the Chinese yuan is down as well. So they're moving it to gold, and then the hope is they move to Bitcoin, but they're not moving it to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is up, but not because the treasuries are moving.
I don't. Yeah, how the Bitcoin is up as of yesterday. I don't know how the markets TradFi markets? Are they up too? Or yeah, tell
Just
us a bit
today,
more.
yeah, today they're up a little bit. Bitcoin's, I think, steady or down a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, Bitcoin has been has seen a massive increase. Right, we're headed towards 100K. I think we're around 90 something K right now.
It has to
Um,
be between 75K and 95K, otherwise intern loses money. So
oh, okay.
better
Well,
stay
cross
range bound.
my
Yes.
fingers. But a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear with this, and so we see gold going. Of course, gold is down today, but overall on the week since we've last met, gold is quite up. I think so. A lot of uncertainty there with the whole tariff policies, and the reason why we saw, I think, Bitcoin go up massively. It kind of coincided with this. I think it was the Treasury Secretary making an offhand comment about how we're not going to play hardball with China, we being the U.S. in these negotiations. So a lot of relief for the markets, thinking that maybe something is coming on the horizon, resolving the 142% tariffs between U.S. and China. But to add to all the uncertainty is the Fed independence in the U.S. So the central bank independence. Donald Trump really wants rates to go down. Rates, unfortunately, have been going up because, as I mentioned, investors are afraid of parking capital in the U.S. bonds. So the price goes down, meaning the rates go up on the 10 years, and so mortgage rates are up. Everything's up, and Trump doesn't like that, and so he threatens that Jerome Powell needs to be removed. Who, fun enough, I think Trump actually put into office in 2018, and
Is he? Oh,
and
I
then Joe
didn't know.
Biden renewed.
I mean,
But
yeah, I mean, I've been saying this as well, but it's kind of known that the Fed did not touch the rates since the past 2 weeks, right? So I mean, there might be like it's not the Fed that dictates the real rates; it's the bonds trader. It's in that case, I think it was like Japan and bunch, even China, that are dumping the bonds in a weird way. The price of the bonds is tied to the interest rate, but it's just any asset that has a huge amount of selling pressure goes down. So eventually, this increases the yields. But yeah, the even if the new Fed chair says tomorrow it's 2%, like people could still dump, could still influence, and the bonds will trade at the price it wants, or at least the traders want.
right.
And
Yes, the
and
10-year Treasury is market driven. The federal funds rate is independent of that. They tend to follow each other. Of course, there's influence between the two, but the Fed cannot dictate the 10-year Treasuries. Right? That's a free market. So
yep,
the Feds can dictate what interest rate banks get when they park their funds at the Federal Reserve overnight. And that influences how much liquidity is injected basically into the economy, which can influence the 10-year rates. But yes, the Jerome Powell does not have that power. But of course, Trump really wants downward pressure on interest rates. And so he has been toying a lot with threatening the Fed independence to basically remove the chairman if they're not doing what Trump wants. This has basically spooked a lot of investors. And that's part of the reason for this Sell America trade is the worry about Fed independence. And the reason why investors care about that is because they don't want the boom and bust cycle. The whole point of Fed independence is to have a monetary policy that is separate from the dictates of the fiscal policy and the politics going on every 4-year cycles, right? And so if you see more dependence, then you also see more 4-year type boom and bust based on the presidencies. So we'll jump to the poly market betting here and just take a look at the probability of whether or not Jerome Powell will be removed as
uh-huh.
Fed chairman here. And you see in the recent days, as Trump talks up his rhetoric, I guess, or I guess it's real, so maybe it's not rhetoric, but as he talks up his threats to remove Jerome Powell, the probability goes up to around 21%, and then has
I mean, it's
recently
low as
dropped
it's
as
been.
Trump.
Like anything, when there's an
Yes,
earnings, when there's an announcement, like just like the not knowing makes it where it's so volatile. But yeah, now at least it's yeah. It's not something that he could have done at all. I think that's the thing. But now that he says, "Oh, I'm not interested," yeah, it's immense.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard thing legally. I think you pretty much have to remove the Fed chair for cause. And could he find some cause, somewhere in the
He's doing his
deep dark
best.
corner of
Come
Jerome
on,
Powell's life? I don't
give Jerome some slack. But oh yeah, it's definitely the independence. It's like the I don't know if there's an ETH analogy, but yes, the core devs do something that the traders may not like, but it's like it has to be independent.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean the development in Bitcoin very different from the voting of the miners and but yeah, this is an interesting market though because the way they define remove has nothing to do with remove in this market actually on Polymarket. So I'm learning a lot about how Polymarket works. But if Jerome Powell ceases to be the chair,
Oh, so
by
you can
any
put a
means,
tagline which
he
is different than the actual article.
yeah, it's kind of misleading, right? This title. So maybe that influences this because that should bump up the probability, right?
Exactly.
Because I think there's really
That's right.
no
If
reason
Trump
Jerome
doesn't
Powell would
remove
legally be.
Jerome, but he ceases to be, it's still true. So yeah,
Yeah, ceases to be.
I
That
mean,
sounds scary, but
interesting. I didn't
yes.
know. I mean, so anyone can create these markets and anyone can use the wordings they want, or there is some vetting for the market.
Um, I bet there's some vetting. I don't know how permissionless Polymarket is from the UI stance, right? Because this is all UI, and then you have to plug in the Oracle. It looks like there's a resolver here to decide, and
What's the comment saying?
I guess, but let's see. Free 10%
Oh, there we
APY.
go.
Uh, that's funny. Yes, you
No, I
can't.
mean,
That's
then
illegal.
all right, let's go. Let's not go down. Let's like the Reddit comments or whatever, or the YouTube comments. The further down you
Uh,
go,
very interesting. I don't know if you want
the
to
more
see this
degenerates
one.
they get. Yeah, exactly.
But it looks like someone's very slated to win
Oh
this
my god,
country.
yeah. I mean, I
80,
was in Canada. I
80.
traveled, as I told you, traveled to Canada. Um, the election, of course, it's much quicker than US. It's not like multi months, like years in advance. And yeah, so people are pretty like the main topic is US Trump trades. Like it's a very engaging. And so again, people were talking about it, but yeah, everyone is very very involved. Again, for better or worse, like what Trump did galvanized a lot of people to pay attention to politics in Canada. And yeah, I mean, my brother my brother works at a bus company called Provost, but it's a bus company. The president of the United States travels in that type of bus, so it's like high end. They sell a ton in the U.S., Europe. It's owned by Volvo, but it was created in Canada first, like 50 years ago. But now, if there's
Very
a
cool.
bus that breaks, they need to ship a spare part. So he works at the like warehouse where they ship all the replacement parts. They could not ship anything during the tariffs scare. They had to supply. Where is the material coming from? Is it aluminum? Is it steel? Where is the steel coming from? So like FedEx or whoever was shipping was returning everything. So for 2 weeks, no bus could be fixed because you could not even ship a part.
My God. You'd have
Exactly. So even now,
delays.
so now it's supposed to be kind of paused, but they still have to provide all of that information, and yeah, it slows down. So he was like very very impacted. Like he had to deal with all the angry garage people that wanted to fix their buses because he couldn't get them out of time on time and stuff. But yeah,
No parts. So what is this doing to the supply chain? Are they saying like, oh, we need to have a safer source in the future, or are they
like
thinking that far?
the bus company or the whole Canadian people. Yes.
The bus
Yeah, I
company
know. It's a Swedish company. They are like global. Everything works fine. This kind of added some sand in the like efficiency in the wrenches, so in the gear. So it's like a weird, like they just have to obey, but like it's a weird solution they were put in. It's like the yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they ship a ton more, or they have a local distribution center somewhere in New Jersey. Maybe that's kind of what they do. But yeah, for now it was all based in Canada, which was easy now. Before now it's more friction. So yeah, maybe my brother's gonna
Yeah,
lose his job
that's
or only ship
unfortunate.
to Mexico and Europe and whatnot.
I hope not, but yeah, it's definitely been more impactful. Like I think people are seeing it in their personal lives a lot more. Like the other day, I was shopping for a board game because I'm a big board gamer, tabletop gamer, And one of my favorite sites to use just said we're out of business.
They cannot, like,
So
German. A lot
it's
of board
like,
games from,
oh
like,
god.
yeah, Germany and kind of
Yes, everything imported in. All the pieces are usually made in China. A lot of the pieces. So, and yeah, very popular
interesting. I mean,
German games, so Euro games. But yeah, it's they run on thin margins. So
anything that they add on top
yeah,
made
any
that it was more difficult. Yeah. Anyways, the
so lots of
hopefully this is on pause and not
differences.
something is going to bother board gamers and my family, please. But yeah,
But just yeah, a lot of people getting hit in their personal lives that I don't think they're expecting the impact. Which yeah, it's kind of crazy. But of course, with the whole China downplay, Trump downplay on the tariffs, that's kind of the recent spike in markets, hoping for a lower tariffs. Of course, we have not received lower tariffs between U.S. and China, but it's just the expectations that were
yeah.
kind
Can
of
you
set
bring the
out.
poly market for the Canadian election again? There was a
Sure, let's pull it up.
the conservative candidate tried to play the Trump playbook a little bit, like over the past months. But yes, Polyev. But he like now he's anti-Trump and stuff. But yeah, he did not help him to try to use the same playbook, like a bit more populist. And Carney is the liberal, which is kind of the incumbent. Typically in Canada, we flip flop quite frequently in terms of who's but then Trudeau went out. He's the leading candidate, it seems. So yeah, at least he also is very very focused on.
So would his politics be in line a bit with Trudeau's?
I mean, this is again. I don't want to shell anyone, but he was like the Fed chair, but in England. Like it's a different Bank of England, but he was kind of an economist there. He was get a PhD. He's very very high level, and apparently like he's in the know of like understands everything about like the trade and everything. So Trudeau was like maybe more of a politician. This one has some like economic experience, so that's why it's helping him. A lot of folks like said, okay, Trudeau, we're so tired of him, but now like he comes in with a breath of fresh air, which is kind of why he's I think leading is just kind of a bit more tangible, a bit more experienced, uh, and he can fire the whole cabinet and hire new people, and that's a new government more or less. So that's also why people are kind of willing to keep going the same party, but the new leader. So it's fine.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out next week early
Yeah,
if this
people
goes
are
through. But
voting
it looks
early,
like it's
huge turnout.
pretty side.
People
Do you guys have mail-in ballots too?
No, I don't know if people those that I saw voted in person ahead of time. But yeah, I don't know how many people do it
Oh,
by
okay,
mail.
early voting.
But there's like,
Cool.
I mean, there's like four
Yeah, I know
times
we have
more
early.
polling places. Very very easy to get there. They're open late. They make it a bit easier to vote for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's nice, especially if you have to
Yep.
work during the day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. We'll jump back to the markets in the U.S. Well, globally, because gold and Bitcoin are global assets. But as we were saying, they're not correlating. Bitcoin and gold are kind of going opposite directions. Bitcoin, of course, seeing this huge spike. This chart's a little bit outdated, but another huge spike, and gold being down a little bit. So Bitcoin is not being seen as a safe haven asset. Still, it's being seen much more correlated as with the equities, and so we're seeing it as a risk-on asset. Still, of course, a lot of hope. The new SEC chairman was just sworn in, very pro-crypto guy apparently, and so a lot of hope on the regulatory tailwinds of crypto, and hope that
Good
it
for
will
Panoptic.
become
Yeah, I
risk
mean
off.
the I think that what I heard is that they are not actively enforcing using either outdated laws or kind of nothing that applies. They allow these, I mean, new ways to kind of capitalize a company, like to flourish and find a way to, of course, go after the bad guys. But yeah, the uncertainty made it very very worrisome for again founders like myself. But now it's a little bit easier to breathe. So yeah, I mean, I'm uh,
You
a
feeling the
little bit
air?
more, yeah, definitely.
That's good. Well, yeah, we'll close it off with a couple more metrics here. So looking at the uncertainty, let's say. So a few ways to measure, right? But I want to get your take on this. So there's something called the 10-year term premium. It's basically how much more expensive is it to, or sorry, how much more do you need to get compensated to purchase a 10-year treasury, pretty much, as compared to purchasing a very short term, let's say 1 month T bill that you roll over for the next 10 years. So traditionally, the premium has been lower, around 0% to 0.3, 0.4%. And even 0.4% was like the high back in the days. Right now, we're already way, way above that. And we hit like a 12-year high at 0.8%, meaning huge premium on the 10-year. The reason for this typically being if there is a ton of uncertainty about where the US economy is headed, you don't want to lock into these 10-year bonds. And so you have to get compensated with a lot more yield. In this case, almost a whole percent more in premium compared to a short-term T-bill or bond. And so right now, we've spiked back down a little bit, but we're still quite high historically. We're somewhere around 0.6, almost 0.6%. So this is signaling a lot of uncertainty that global investors have in the future of the U.S. economy and where it's headed. And then this huge spike was right around inauguration, right? We have no idea what Trump's going to do. Come down a bit, but we're still seeing a bit more spike recently with all the tariff question marks. So as far as like volatility goes, though, when it comes to the VIX and also IBIT, we're kind of around normal areas. I think the rank is even like lower than 50, right? The percentile rank and stuff, they're quite lower. And right now we're at around 50% IV for the IBIT. Should we be seeing higher implied vols right now, or I think you said it went up a little bit, but do you think we should be seeing?
Yeah, I know. If it's going up in equity markets, typically it represses the volatility a little bit. It's like people are bullish, all right, let's all buy. People are happy to sell, happy to buy. So it's when it does spike, it's typically a bad omen for like things to come, either a big drawdown or huge spike on the way up, which is kind of taking everyone by surprise. Again, you still have some volatility for Bitcoin, which is kind of inherently volatile. But yeah, I would say that even the price move that we've seen wouldn't necessarily mean more uncertainty. It's just yes, it's a good type of warm feeling that you see price going up. Doesn't make you want to sell whenever there's a huge drawdown. Again, we've seen this over the past 3-4 weeks. It's actually like where you are kind of selling, maybe cutting losses, not buying as much. But yeah, I would say that if it keeps going up, I would expect the volatility to keep going down as well and be kind of on the lower end of its historical spectrum. But yeah.
So you're saying if the crypto prices are going up, then we tend to see the volatilities of the IVs going down.
Typically, the VIX and S&P 500 are anti-correlated, similar to Bitcoin. I think there is. I mean, Nathan on the research team is kind of very knowledgeable, but in commodities, it's the opposite a bit because you have to buy natural gas for your factory to work, or oil or corn for transformation. And when it does go up, and it is the fear side of the price going up. If the price of Bitcoin goes up, it's not like a Ethereum to some extent. If it goes to 10K overnight, there might be less trading. You may not be like willing to trade as much because the gas is going to be like $100 per trade. So I understand that price going up on ETH, maybe even could be Solana, has some impact on the activity. Bitcoin is just kind of a digital gold. If it goes up, yes, it's fine. You don't need gold. It's not as if your factory needs gold to make chips. You just need to hold it. So it is definitely kind of similar to equities in that front as well. Price going up, lower vol.
Okay, so we're normal vols because I see the intern selling. So just wanted to check. We still think
intern
that the
got intimidated by me commanding them to do this, but also you follow now.
Or no, you're
Ansem, you follow someone that you. This is also why sometimes copy trading or it's hard to follow someone because they have different entry point, exit points. They have some insights that you may not share. If you want to do one to one, you'll kind of be lagging. So it's good to use. I mean, even with Panoptic, you can see and spy on everyone, but create your own trades, create your own assumptions, and maybe you see something like don't copy it blindly, but use this as inspiration. But yeah, I mean, I think it was also reasonable to me. As I said, I could have traded it as well. Range bound, Bitcoin seems to be a bit boring. I don't know where that price increase came from. As you say, maybe it's less macro warming up. But yeah, I would say that the 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 way to trade is to make your own future, make your own destiny. But yeah, use maybe other people's as inspiration, but don't overdo it.
Awesome,
Some
great
people may
advice
say do the
to end
exact
our
opposite of everything you see, and that's fine. That works, I'm sure,
yeah,
for a lot of people too.
or just what
Yeah,
Kramer says.
anti
Great.
in
Well,
panoptic in term, the same way we have anti Kramer. Do the opposite.
I mean, interns had a good track
That's why,
record.
yeah,
It's a little different.
that's definitely not something you want to bet. Again, Rosalie has some pure, very very good insights, and then yeah, it's not something you want
On
to
the
go
ground.
against for sure.
That's right. Well, awesome. Nothing we say here as financial advice, but thanks for the tips at the end here. Great way to conclude the options hour. We'll be back on Friday with the best and worst trades and analyzing the interns trades. So stay tuned for that. We also have some exciting maybe updates coming up on a trading competition. So stay tuned if you want to sign up. We'll have some announcements there where you can sign up and maybe get some cool prizes and also get some bonuses for signing up early. So stay tuned. We'll have more details on our Twitter. Follow us at panoptic_XYZ. If you're watching here, you can leave comments on the live stream or questions. You can also go to our Discord if you need any trading help with the platform and perpetual options. I know they can get complicated, so we have our expert Guillaume in the chat ready to answer. So, anyways, anything that you wanted to leave our audience with before we
No,
close
that's
off
it. Yeah,
the
stop
hour?
losing, start trading. Just do it, but also like do it responsibly. Again, a bit more. Um, yeah.
Love it.
I
Very
know,
dad
I
of you
know.
to say.
Trade, win the competition, being the safest trader around. Not sometimes not doing anything is the best outcome. So keep this in mind.
It's a good way to not lose money. I don't know if you'll win the competition, but
As long as you don't lose it. But yes. All right. Thanks very much, everyone. This was great. Thanks, Brennan. Thanks for